The stars over the planet Yerel glowed faintly through its dusty skies. Once a peaceful trade hub, Yerel was now surrounded by wreckage, broken satellites, and drifting warships. The enemy had come without warning. They called themselves the Draxel, a race of conquerors who moved from star to star, leaving only silence behind. Commander Lyra stood at the edge of her city's defense tower, her four-fingered hands gripping the railing. Below her, smoke rose from destroyed districts. Her people were dying. And the Draxel weren't done yet. We've sent the distress signal, said her aide, a young Yerelan named Kale. It's on all known channels. Even the old ones. Lyra nodded, her voice low. Including Earth. Yes. Even them. Kale looked nervous. Everyone did when they spoke of Earth. For over a century, Earth had stayed quiet. After helping end the last galactic war, the humans had withdrawn. No one knew exactly why. They had closed their borders, silenced their comms, and turned away from the stars. Some thought they were broken. Others believed they were planning something, but now, with the Draxel cutting through every defense, Lyra knew there was no one else to call. If Earth won't answer, she thought, then no one will, across the galaxy. In the cold dark beyond the Orion line, a human listening station blinked. A single alert. A signal, the message repeated over and over again, this is Yerel. We are under attack by the Draxel. Civilian casualties rising. We beg for aid, anyone. Even Earth. The officer on duty, a middle-aged man named Cole, stared at the blinking message for a long time. Then he picked up the secure comm. Get me high command, he said. We've just been asked for help. The screen stayed silent for a moment. Then the reply came, calm and cold, prepare the fleet. 3 days later, far beyond Yerel's reach, the stars rippled. An old gate opened. It hadn't been used in decades. Everyone believed it was broken, part of Earth's self-imposed silence. But now, from its depths, thunder echoed, the first human warship appeared, then another, then dozens. The Titan-class dreadnoughts, shaped like black blades, moved into formation. Their hulls glowed with shield signatures, their weapons humming with quiet power. These weren't ordinary warships. These were the ones Earth had hidden away, the ones built not for defense, but for extinction-level retaliation. The people of Yerel had grown used to fear. It filled every alley, every home, every breath. The Draxel attacks came day and night. Their ships rained fire from orbit. Cities fell. Families vanished. Resistance meant death. Commander Lyra hadn't slept in 2 nights. She stood at the command center, watching broken defense satellites orbit uselessly above. Her people were running out of hope, until the alarm blared, unknown contacts, multiple, exiting warp space. Kale shouted. Coordinates above Sector 8. Lyra turned sharply. More Draxel. Kale's voice shook. No, these aren't Draxel. The holographic screen lit up. Dozens of massive ships blinked into view, one after another, like giants waking from the void, and then they saw the flag. It was black. A single white symbol, a star pierced by a sword. Earth had arrived. The largest vessel drifted forward slowly, silently. It dwarfed the Draxel destroyers. Its surface was matte black, with sharp armor plating and glowing red sensor eyes along its hull. The words Hades' Wrath were etched across the side. Kale gasped. That's a Titan class. They actually sent a Titan class. Lyra's heart pounded. Send them a hail. Now. Kale tried. They are not responding. Then, without warning, the human fleet moved. Dozens of dreadnoughts spread across the orbit of Yerel. Smaller ships followed, fast, sharp corvettes and gunboats that moved like predators. The human ships didn't ask for permission. They didn't explain. They simply took formation. At first, Yerel's commanders were confused, then they realized Earth wasn't joining their defense, Earth was taking control of the battlefield. Above, in the human flagship, a single woman sat in the command chair. Her name was Captain Rayna. She wore no medals, she needed none. She stared at the tactical map as red dots, Draxel ships, closed in from the outer system. Have they fired on Yerel recently? She asked. Yes, Captain. Civilian losses continue. Rayna nodded once. Then authorization is granted. The officer beside her hesitated. Full directive. Rayna's eyes were cold. Directive black. No survivors. A silence passed, then orders were sent. From orbit, Yerrel watched as beams of white-hot plasma erupted from human ships. No sound could be heard from the ground. But in the skies above, war had begun. The first Draxel fleet, over 200 strong, didn't even make it past the planet's outer defenses. Human warships cut through them like razors. Draxel's shielding shattered. Their weapons failed to pierce the armor of Earth's dreadnoughts. One by one, their ships exploded, fire lit the sky. Lyra's screen blinked with dozens of red, neutralized alerts. Her voice trembled. Are we winning? Kale couldn't take his eyes off the sky. No, he whispered. They are winning for us. Within hours, over 80% of the Draxel fleet had been destroyed. The rest tried to flee, but Earth's fleet didn't. Let them. And no warnings. No negotiations. Just fire, steel, and silence, and above all of it, a single message broadcast to every system in range: Earth has responded. Let this be your only warning. Asterisk. In the Draxel command ship, panic was setting in. The Supreme Leader, a tall creature with bone armor skin and glowing yellow eyes, slammed his fist against the side of his throne. What do you mean the entire wave is gone? He growled. His officers said nothing. The silence was louder than screams. They didn't even reply to our demands, one whispered. They just erased us. The humans hadn't spoken. Hadn't answered. Hadn't tried to make peace. They had come to end a war. With war back on Yerrel, Lyra watched as the skies returned to stillness. There were no more Draxel signals on the radar. The ground forces, once marching toward her capital, had been turned to ashes from orbit. Even Yerrel's own soldiers hadn't fired a shot, and then, for the first time in weeks, the sirens stopped. Is it over? Kale asked quietly. No, Lyra said, still staring up. Earth doesn't come just to fight. They come to finish. Above the planet, inside the Hades Wrath, Captain Rayna received her next report. All hostile activity has been neutralized, her second-in-command said. Confirm survivors. She asked. Less than 20 Draxel ships left. All fleeing. They are heading toward the outer colonies. Rayna stood up. And we already launched the hunters. For across space, the Draxel escape fleet raced through the stars. Their ships were damaged, limping through warp lanes, sparks and flames trailing behind. They didn't speak. They didn't dare. Every eye was on the scanners. Then, one by one, new dots appeared. Behind them, contacts, shouted one of the Draxel pilots. They are following us. The humans were faster. A shadow passed over their lead ship, and then the fleet died. In the Galactic Council chamber, light years away, an emergency meeting had been called. The news of Earth's return had already spread. Every species had picked up the broadcasts. The footage. The final moments of the Draxel fleet, caught in high definition by distant probes. Some envoys were terrified. Others were quiet. No one made jokes. The humans broke their silence. The ambassador from the Noari said. And they didn't speak. They acted. They didn't come to protect Yerrel, added the envoy from the Deluva. They came to punish the attackers. They didn't even contact us, another said. They ignored the council completely. A nervous murmur passed through the chamber. What do we do? Someone finally asked. The oldest among them, a grey-skinned figure who had survived the last human war, leaned forward. We don't do anything, he said softly. We watch. On Yerrel, Lyra finally sat down. Her legs trembled. The war was over, not because the enemy gave up, but because someone stronger had arrived and ended it without asking. Her comm screen blinked. A message from the human fleet, text only. Short. Your world is safe. Maintain peace. Or next time, we return for you. Lyra's blood ran cold. This wasn't a rescue, this was a reminder. Asterisk. The fires on Yerrel were slowly dying out. Rescue teams moved through the rubble, pulling survivors from broken buildings and sending medical aid to every sector. The skies above were quiet now, too quiet. Earth's fleet hadn't stayed long after the battle. Once the last Draxel ship was gone, the humans left orbit as suddenly as they had arrived. They didn't dock. They didn't meet with Yerrel's leaders. No interviews. No celebration. No thanks, they had come like a storm. And like a storm, they were gone, but they had left something behind. At the edge of the ruined capital, Yerel and scouts discovered it, a dark, rectangular box, 3 meters high, humming quietly in the dust. It had no markings, no lights, no visible doors. It had landed from orbit, untouched by the explosions that surrounded it. Commander Lyra stood beside it now, her hands behind her back, as the planet's best scientists and engineers scanned it. It's made of some kind of hybrid alloy, said one. Mostly unknown elements. Too hard to cut. No response to our signals, added another. Kale stared at it and whispered, "Is it a warning?" Lyra didn't answer. She stepped closer and reached out, before her hand could touch it. The box opened, not with a sound, not with movement, but suddenly, it simply wasn't sealed anymore. Inside was a single screen, glowing faintly. Then it spoke. In perfect Yerelan language. "This is a memory unit. A gift. A message." Everyone froze. "You called for help. Help was given. But next time, do not wait until it's too late. Earth may not answer twice." The screen flickered, then changed. It showed images now, footage from the battle. From the human fleet's perspective. Every Draxel ship destroyed, every precision strike, every life saved, but then the images changed again. The footage showed something older. Older battles. Older wars the humans had fought before. And what they had done to the Draxel, they had done many times before. In systems no longer on any map. To enemies who no longer existed. Kale looked pale. Why would they show us this? Lyra stared at the screen. Because they don't want worship. They want us to remember. Far from Yerel, on Earth, Captain Rayner stood in the briefing chamber with other commanders. Their uniforms were black. Their faces unreadable. A large screen behind them displayed footage from the mission. "Minimal loss," said one commander. "Clean strike. No human casualties." "Then the message is clear," another replied. "Earth doesn't need to return to diplomacy. We protect when needed. But only once." Rayner crossed her arms. "And if the galaxy doesn't listen?" Everyone turned to her. She answered her own question. "Then next time, we don't bring a fleet." She tapped the display. "We bring extinction." Back on Yerel, the box sealed itself again. It didn't need guards. No one dared touch it. Lyra turned away and looked at the sky. The stars no longer gave her comfort. Because now she knew what waited in them. Not angels, not saviors, but humans, and they had shown the galaxy what happened when mercy ran out. The silence after fire word count, ~770 style, third person simple basic English. Weeks passed. Yerel's skies had returned to blue, and the smoke had cleared from the cities. Power was restored, water systems repaired, and food was flowing again. Life was returning, but the people were not the same. They had seen something no one could forget, what it meant when Earth answered a call for help. In the capital, Commander Lyra sat before the Council of Recovery. Representatives from every region gathered in a great stone hall, once used for celebrations. Now it echoed with silence and worry. A large screen showed surveillance footage of the human ships. Images of Hades' wrath, Earth's black titan, floating like death above their world. "We owe them our survival," said one elder. "If not for Earth, we would all be gone." "Yes," said another. "But what did it cost?" Murmurs filled the hall. "They left without asking for anything," Lyra said quietly. "Exactly," another voice snapped. "That's what's terrifying." Everyone turned. Wars are usually followed by demands: land, power, tribute. But the humans wanted nothing. Why? No one had an answer. Lyra stood. Because they don't fight for gain. They fight to remind. That made the chamber fall still. She continued, "They gave us peace, but not for free. It came with a message: protect yourselves, or Earth will do it their way. And their way is final." Meanwhile, far from Yerel, on a hidden moon near the Draxel homeworld, the surviving Draxel leaders had gathered. Their military was shattered. Their outer colonies were burning. Entire sectors had gone dark. One Draxel officer slammed his claws. "On the map, where did they come from? We never even detected their warp signatures." Another hissed, "We had superior numbers. And still they erased us. The humans are not a species. They are a weapon, the war priest growled. We awakened something ancient. Something we never understood. A younger commander whispered, what do we do now? The oldest among them hissed, we hide. We scatter. And we pray they forget us. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, silence filled the room once again. Leaders across the stars had seen the footage. They had read the messages. They had counted the ships and the ships that never returned. Some races had once viewed humans as relics. Others thought Earth had gone soft. Now they all agreed on one thing, Earth had not been quiet. Earth had been waiting. Back on Yerel, Kale stood beside the strange box humans left behind. Guards still surrounded it, but no one touched it anymore. It hummed softly, as if remembering. Kale whispered to Lyra, do you think they'll come back? She didn't answer at first, then she said, only if we call. Or if we forget what they've shown us. He nodded slowly. We should tell the story, shouldn't we? Not just the battle, but the warning. Lyra looked at the sky. Yes. Every world in the galaxy should know. Because next time, there might not be a warning first. High above, drifting alone, one human stealth probe remained. Silent, cloaked, and unseen. It watched and it waited. Across the galaxy, whispers of Earth's return spread like fire. In quiet corners of distant markets, merchants told stories of a black fleet that moved like shadows and struck without mercy. Smugglers swore they'd seen human ships appear and disappear without using known warplanes. Soldiers from border worlds traded tales of the Death Fleet, as they called it, ships without names, without fear. And without loss. No one could confirm how many ships Earth had, but the galaxy agreed on one thing, it wasn't all of them. On a small outpost station near the Outer Vale, a trader named Tolan overheard a drunken argument between two old captains. One claimed he had seen a human destroyer on a moon with weapons so advanced they melted rock. The other said Earth had built entire fleets beneath their oceans, hidden even from satellites. Tolan didn't believe most stories. But then again, Yerel had been real. He turned on a dusty terminal and played a transmission that was now banned on several planets. Footage showed the Hades wrath as it tore through a Draxel cruiser with a single strike. The human ship didn't slow down. It didn't even acknowledge it. The video ended with the words, we are what comes after mercy fails. Tolan stared at the screen in silence, then he quietly powered down his trade routes that passed near Earth space. He didn't want to get close. Meanwhile, in a hidden base on Mars, Earth's high command gathered. The room was deep underground, shielded by kilometers of rock and thick black steel. Captain Rayner stood beside a massive table, where a glowing map showed the galaxy and its current political zones. Results, asked a gray-haired general. Rayner spoke calmly. Objective complete. Draxel fleet eliminated. No losses. No pursuit. Any retaliation? None. They've gone silent. A younger commander leaned forward. And the rest of the galaxy? Rayner gave a thin smile. They are watching. Carefully. Exactly as planned. The general nodded. Good. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Another commander asked, do we continue deployment? The general paused, then gave the order, Phase 2 begins. Lights blinked across the map, dozens of small blue markers lighting up systems far from Earth. Rayner looked at them. Silent ships. Shadow fleets. Let them know we are watching. Even if they can't see us. Back on Yerel, Lyra had become a symbol. Survivors looked to her for leadership. Not because she had won the war, but because she had asked for help, and Earth had answered. She sat in her private quarters, staring at a screen showing the stars above. Kale entered quietly. Another message arrived. From Earth? No. From the colonies beyond the Veil. They are asking us what to do if they are attacked. Lyra stood slowly. Then we tell them the truth. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't call for mercy if you aren't ready for fire. Kale looked unsure. Should we be afraid of the humans? Lyra answered without blinking. Not if we never become their enemy. In the shadow of that moment, every species, every leader, every captain in the stars began to reconsider. Their strategies, all it had taken was one call for help, and Earth had returned not as diplomats, not as peacekeepers, but as the reckoning. The stars had changed, where once maps were filled with borders, trade lanes, and neutral zones, now there were quiet places, uncharted systems where ships simply vanished. No distress signals. No survivors. Most believed those places had drawn Earth's attention. No one knew how many fleets the humans had. No one had seen their homeworld in over 100 years. But everyone now knew, Earth still watches, and Earth never forgets. On Yerel, a ceremony was held in the heart of the rebuilt capital. The largest plaza, once ruined by Draxel fire, had been restored with dark stone and silver tiles. At its center stood a statue, not of a Yerelan hero, but of a ship, sleek, silent, black. A tribute to the unknown warship that had protected them. Below the statue was a plaque, carved with care, to those who answered when no one else would. We remember not the names. We remember the fire. Commander Lyra stood beside it, watching the crowd. Survivors, soldiers, children, all quiet, beside her. Kale whispered, "Do you think they'll ever speak to us again?" Lyra looked up at the stars. They already did. Loudly. At the edge of the galaxy, deep in the empty reaches near the dead zone called the SC, something stirred. A small pirate fleet drifted into orbit around a forgotten moon, seeking shelter and supplies. Their captain laughed at the rumors of Earth's wrath, fairy tales, he said. They only saved Yerel because it was public. Cameras and politics. They won't come out here. But then the stars blinked and a shape appeared, black, silent, enormous. No warning. No broadcast. The human ship's weapons lit up. The pirate fleet never sent another signal. In the Galactic Council, debates raged in secret. Some argued Earth should be invited back, others said to leave them alone. A few demanded their location be declared off limits forever, but one elderly ambassador spoke with quiet certainty. You cannot invite the wind. You cannot ban the storm. Earth comes when it chooses. Not before. On Earth itself, far beneath the frozen wastes of the southern pole, the High Command reviewed its final reports. Captain Rayner stood in silence before a great screen showing distant star systems, highlighted, marked, observed. She spoke softly. They understand now. One message. One strike. One answer. The general beside her nodded. Should we send anything else? Rayner replied, no. Let them wonder. Let the fear settle. He asked, and if someone forgets again? She turned toward him. Then we remind them what happens when Earth hears a cry for help. Back on Yerel, the strange box left by the humans lit up once more. No one touched it. No one dared. It displayed only one new message, words in bold white, displayed in every galactic tongue: you are not alone. But never forget, if we come again, it will be the last time you need us. And just like that, the box went dark, forever.